Can Pam Bondi help Utah? At least in the same way that it helped Kentucky by getting rid of the nonsensical illegal immigrant tuition policy. So Pam Bondi filed suit against Kentucky to stop them from them illegally giving in-state tuition to illegal aliens. Basically, according to Pam Bondi, this was creating a second-class citizen. So no state can be allowed to treat Americans like second-class citizens in their own country by offering financial benefits to illegal aliens. So there's a law in U.S. Code that stops states from offering post-secondary education benefits for non-citizens. So we'll read it. Notwithstanding any other provision of law, an alien who is not lawfully present in the United States shall not be eligible on the basis of residence within a state or political subdivision for any post-secondary education benefit unless a citizen or national of the United States is eligible for such a benefit. So a U.S. citizen has to be able to qualify for the exact same way that a not lawfully or illegal alien for financial benefits. Kentucky was not doing that. Kentucky was saying if you're a resident, well, you can go to our school even though you're here illegally. The law to me makes sense. I think it's a good law on its face, but I think it kind of misses something more important. I think we need to do everything that we can to make illegal immigration as untenable as possible. We need to make sure that individuals that are coming here, that they don't get benefits. So that's part of the problem I see with Utah. Utah is a very soft sanctuary state. We offer in-state tuition for illegal aliens that are in our state. We offer driving privilege cards. We offer free healthcare for children of illegal aliens, and a host of other things that we do to make this state very soft. Now, if we were to go back 20 years ago, a lot of these laws, I think they made sense. Utah tries to be compassionate, and by made sense, I mean I can understand the logic of getting to the conclusion that they did. Utah tries to be very accommodating and helpful to individuals, but over the last 4 years, with Biden and the opening of our border, some things need to change. So at the very least, Utah needs to wake up to their awful situation and do something about what's going on. Now, I understand Utah doesn't have as many illegal aliens as other states. Utah's probably not even up there in the top half of states that has a problem, especially since we're not on the border. Utah also has a lot of LDS, and I think that for some reason probably keeps some individuals away. But people do want to come here. Utah's created a great place to raise families. We're just a really great state, and we have been for a long time up until recently. I think Governor Cox is as corrupt as they come, and he's participating in the corruption of our federal government that I think everyone in the federal government, for the most part, is overcome. I think Trump is doing something different. I think he's trying to put an end to that, and I would love to see everyone arrested who's committing fraud and corruption. But so can Pam Bondi do the same thing, help Utah? Sadly, she can't do it, at least in the same way. Maybe she has some other means of doing it that I'm not aware of. I would love to see it, but I don't think she's going to be able to come to Utah and fight us on the same grounds. So as we said here, it can't be based on residence. Utah kind of went a different route. For Utah's non-resident tuition, it's this law, HB 144, which was in 2002. So if allowed under federal law, a student other than a non-immigrant alien, and then it gives us where non-immigrant alien is defined, effectively someone who's not trying to come here permanently, so someone with a temporary work visa or a tourist, right? Someone just coming to the U.S. temporarily, they don't plan on staying. Everyone else shall be exempt from paying the non-resident portion of the total tuition if the student attended high school in the state for 3 or more years, graduated from high school in this state, or received the equivalent of a high school diploma in this state, and registers as entering student at an institution of higher education not earlier than the fall of 2002-03 academic year. So in other words, moving forward from that point. So there's two that truly matter here, 2 points. They have to attend high school for 3 years in Utah, and they have to have graduated or got their GED in Utah. This could apply to anyone. They don't have to be a resident. So Utah is already skirting the law, the U.S. law, the federal law, by this does apply to everybody. So a citizen gets the exact same benefit as a non-citizen, or more importantly, an illegal alien. They also added, in addition to the requirements under subsection 1, a student without lawful immigration status shall file an affidavit with the institution of higher education stating that the student has filed an application to legalize his immigration status, or will file an application as soon as he is eligible to do so. So in Utah, if you are here illegally, you do have to promise that you're going to do your part to become a U.S. citizen. I can appreciate that attempt. I appreciate the desire behind the law. And again, a decade ago, this law made sense. In 2002, I do think this law made some sense. We didn't have that many illegal aliens. And if they were here, I like encouraging them to actually become citizens. But I also think that we need to do what we do. We need to do what we can do to make it untenable for them to want to stay in America at this point. Again, with everything that Joe Biden's done the last 4 years, opening our border, allowing them to surge in, the numbers could be as high as 20 million illegal immigrants have entered this country through the border. There are even more that are people that received a visa and overstayed their visas, and there's a plethora of ways that you can come to the U.S. and remain here illegally. And we're not going to be able to deport them all. I understand that the big, beautiful bill gave a lot of money to ICE to be able to help deport these people, but they're not going to be able to do it, not in the 4 years that Trump has. And honestly, I think we only have 4 years. There's not a real person who can replace Trump from the MAGA perspective, from this movement that Trump has created. There is no replacement. I know that individuals like to speak up on like, hey, maybe JD Vance, maybe Marco Rubio. To me, everyone else, they are not MAGA. Trump is MAGA. Trump created this coalition. Trump created this movement. And to be honest, I think it's the one area he's failing the hardest is he hasn't created some good follow-up for us to continue with this movement. And I'm kind of afraid of what happens at the end of his term. And even if a Republican does win, there's no guarantee that they're going to continue the deportations to get these individuals out. So to Trump's defense, I will say he shut down the border. That is great. We don't have new individuals coming in, but he is not going to be able to get them out quick enough. So we need to do what we can to get them out sooner. And I think at least in Utah, we can do our part, become an example for the rest of the states. We need to make it illegal to hire and/or harbor, so renting a home, to illegal aliens. Now, I understand I don't want someone to get in trouble, and technically it already is under federal law, but what I'm really saying is we need to make the charges even worse. I think we need to take your property. If you used property to help an illegal alien through hiring them or the home, your property is forfeited. You have forfeited that property. You don't get to keep the home. You don't get to keep the truck. You don't get to keep the tools. Your stuff will be taken from you. And not only that, but I would love to see arrests for individuals who do this. There are too many people who have underskirted the American people by allowing these illegals to stay, and we've made it soft for them to stay. Again, Utah's a very much a sanctuary state. Maybe not by the definition way that we normally define it when we say that we will work with ICE. We're not refusing to work with ICE. We're not refusing to stop deportations or working against it, but we're allowing them to stay here and very gratefully just being like, here, take our stuff, have some benefits because you're here. We need to make it untenable for them to want to be here, so they self-deport. We need to get rid of everybody, and Utah needs to be the example so that Trump and ICE can focus on the states where they're not going to do this. That's where I'm going to leave it. If you disagree with anything I say, go ahead and leave it in the comments. You can find me on X at Reese J. Crockett. Go ahead and follow me there. Get in an argument with me. Tell me why I'm wrong. I would love to hear it. I'd love to fine-tune my skills and or just learn. I truly am looking for understanding on this. I definitely have opinions. I'm going to share those opinions. A lot of my opinions probably won't change, but there's some opinions that if I hear differently, I'll probably change my mind. Originally, I was really thinking Pam could come after Utah, and doing this this reading and the studying, I kind of found maybe we can't. So I'd love to learn from you. Give me any tips or tricks or whatever you have about Utah. I'd love to hear it. Like this video, subscribe. If you know anybody, share this video with them. And yeah, so again, you can find me at Reese J. Crockett, YouTube, Rumble, on X. I'm going to try to create a TikTok and Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I don't know. I'll probably try to get everywhere and probably put the podcast on wherever you can find podcasts as well. That's my goal. We'll go from there, and I hope you have a great day.